All right. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin the lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwada. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, the great millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the elect that the Lord will have mercy on in these last days. Shalom. Shalom to all the scattered Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, this is not a black only thing, because the 12 tribes of Israel consist of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are mainly here on the shores of Babylon the Great, America. And you got the Israelites that have been scattered throughout all other nations throughout the four corners of the earth, no matter what they may look like. If your spirit is knit with this gospel and with this truth, and you're continuously calling upon the names of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, in all truth and sincerity, hey, you are more than likely of the stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and probably of the hopeful elect, man. So shalom to all of you scattered Israelites out there. And I'm the brother Dama Agabar, out here with another live lesson, as we do week in and week out, to prophesy and preach the gospel of the kingdom of heaven to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, and to chant down Babylon the Great, which is known as America in the Holy Scriptures, all right? And hey, like we do week in and week out, we come out here on the highways and the byways to feed the lambs and the sheep of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, to bring in the elect, so that we could be delivered and saved from this captivity, from our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahweh Shai in the Paleo-Hebrew, through the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, all right, who the world ignorantly calls God, all right? And hey, we've been blessed to come out here another Friday, to come out here and to preach this gospel, you know, to the elect, man. And Lord willing, this is edifying. Lord willing, you know, this lesson is done in the spirit, and to inspire and to give hope to you sincere brethren and sister out there that are really in this truth and in this ministry, man. Because we're getting ready to face some very, very serious times, man. And one thing that, you know, we have to understand is that, hey, our faith is going to have to be at an all-time high, man. Because our faith is about to be really, really tested in these last days, you know. And we see the Lord's getting ready to put the spirit on Esau, like we've been telling you, to come down with that great wrath, so that he can establish this new world order, so he can establish, you know, this this technocracy, this digital slave system that he's trying to establish, with digital IDs, with cashless societies, 15-minute cities, putting the mark of the beast, which is the implantable RFID microchips, in every single living human soul on this planet. And hey, we're getting ready to be tested to see if we really believe and serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. But luckily for us, you know, we have great examples in the Holy Scriptures, and a lot of our forefathers who in their day and in their time went through their hours of temptation. So we have a lot of, you know, a lot of things that was written aforetime, man, that can help us and guide us and put us in the spirit to be able, when these things come, to be prepared for it, you know? Because we're all getting ready to be tested here in a major, major way, man. And as of right now, you see a lot of unbelief. You see a lot of incredulity. You see a lot of mainly Jakes on these podcasts, these black ass Christians, these non-believers, these naysayers, these doubters. And right now, people are heavily coming up against what, as they will call, the black Hebrew Israelites. But they're coming up against this truth and in this ministry. You know, a lot of these people are trying to, you know, so-called debunk us. They're trying to, you know, destroy the faith of those of you that are listening and that are learning and that are believing, you know, that we are the true biblical Israelites, man. And it's being attacked at an all-time level. And a lot of these people that are attacking this truth, these podcasters, these red pillars, that Satan sinner jackass, that fugazi nigga, and a lot of these other social media so-called influencers are heavily zoning in and coming up against this ministry and in this doctrine. And it's really ultimately to try to overthrow the faith of you believers out there, man. See, that's why you got to be really built upon a strong and solid foundation, man. And if you're listening to all these different other Israelite groups, you're getting information here, you're getting information here, you're listening to these podcasters, you're listening to information from the world, information from the truth, information from here, information from there. You're not going to be really built on the solid foundation of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know, when it's going to really matter the most, man. All right, and all these people that are coming up against this doctrine, against this ministry, they're all going to lose. They're all going to fail. Because ultimately, hey, they're not rooted and grounded in what the scriptures are really truly all about, man. you got these assholes claiming to be saints and sinners and, you know, Christians, but at the same time, they're telling you that we believe in a make-believe book, man. And a lot of these guys are just a bunch of goddamn clowns, man. And a lot of these influencers that are coming up against this gospel and this ministry, a lot of them are set up agents, man. A lot of them are being paid by Esau Edom. A lot of these TikTok videos you see in these niggas coming up coming up against the Israelites, a lot of them are getting paid. A lot of them are getting tipped off. A lot of them are being told behind closed doors that they'll get paid if they just continuously make videos coming up against the Hebrew Israelites, man. But it's all good though, you know? And like I said, these are all just necessary evils. These are all just more stumbling blocks, more things that are put in the path of us believers to try to stump us and try to trip us up and try to ultimately get us not to, you know, to lose hope and faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. But one thing we know is the elect is not going to be deceived, man. The elect is not going to be trumped up. Hey, the Lord's going to put his elect on the path to where none of these things are going to be able to separate us from the love or the comfort or the faith and belief in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. And we got to continue to pray that we remain faithful until the end, man. Because this is just going to get more and more intensified as we get closer into the end. You're going to see more naysayers, more doubters, more shit talkers. You know, you're going to start seeing AI coming up against the ministry, coming up against this doctrine. You know, but hey, that's just like Scripture say. Oh, let me get that real fast. All right, hey, you gotta when you come to serve the Lord, this is what comes with it. A lot of temptation, a lot of doubt, a lot of weirdos. You know. Let me get this one. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them." You see? Hey, if we're of the elect and we're of the righteous, hey, ain't nothing going to be able to touch us. Like I said, of course, we're catching our hell every day. You know, you feel stressed. Sometimes you feel alone. You know, you're dealing with the everyday affairs of this life. You're seeing all this wickedness, all these doubters. You know, you got to deal with all this demonic behavior. You know, it seems like, you know, everything is up against you. But hey, at the end of the day, the righteous are in the hands of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. And he's going to continue to guide us through this thing every single day, man. You know, these are just necessary evils that are that have to be here, man. But ultimately, we have to not lose focus and not, you know, lose sight of the mission and what we're ultimately in this thing to do, which is to be delivered, to receive salvation, man. It says, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, you see? And that's what we have to look forward to, man, is that we're going to be rewarded, man. And everything that we're doing in this truth, even though in the sight of the people of this world, even though, you know, in our day-to-day life, it seems like, you know, we're not getting anywhere. Like you got these niggas saying, these Hebrew Israelites, they're not doing anything for the black community. They're not building anything. See, because the mind frame of a worldly individual is that they think that godliness is gain. They think serving the Lord is going to come with riches and money and a mega church and praise from this world, man. You see, they don't look at the men of the Lord as suffering persecution, being chastised, being lied on, being slandered as part of, you know, as part of righteousness, you know, because they don't truly understand what this thing is all about, man. You see, that's why you got a lot of these jakes who know that they're Israelites, but they're trying to become Israelite influencers, man. They're trying to get clout. They want fame. They want notoriety. They want the praise of this world and for people to see them and pat them on the back. But it don't work like that when you're truly serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. Scriptures say when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, man. And I'm reading it right here. It comes with chastisement, hatred, slander, you know. It was never a day at the park when you read about the ancient prophets of the Lord. They always got hated on, spat on, you know, kicked, punched. Even some of them got put to death because why? They always came with a message that the people were against, man. And it's no different in these times, man. And we got to be prepared to be in that same lot, man. Hey, but at the end of the day, we got to know that, look, hey, we're in good company, man. All right? So back here it says, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself. You see, we got to continuously seek the approval of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, not these people in the world, man. Because like I said, they always hated the prophets. They always hated the messengers of the Most High, because it was always a message that they didn't want to hear. It was always a message of being a party pooper, of telling them they're going off, of telling them that judgment was coming, calling them out on their wickedness, man, putting everybody in their place, man. But one thing we know about Jake is Jake hates to be corrected. Jake hates to be called out. Jake hates to be told about themselves, man, especially when it comes from somebody who looks just like them. See, but we don't give a damn. Hey, we're going to continue to do the job of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and we're going to be greatly rewarded, man. And we're going to continue to keep our faith in the Most High no matter what, man. And we know in these days that are coming, hey, greater persecution is getting ready to come to us. You know, way greater than just some nigga on YouTube talking shit, or these Christians on TikTok slandering and making lies. Hey, we're about to be literally approached by the devil himself, man. You know, facing being thrown in prison, being sawed asunder in the face of imminent death, man. But that still shouldn't deter any of us from the reward that we got coming, man. And that's why, hey, fear, you know, has to be the last thing on our minds, man. And that's what I want to get into today. Look at the, you know, of our forefathers of old, man, and how they went out when they trusted in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, even in the face of imminent death, man. The Lord always made a way for his elect and for his chosen to make it through, man. And we got to be in that same mind frame, man. We can't be so easily moved, so easily distracted, so easily, you know, triggered, man. Hey, the times we're coming in, man, we're going to have to be we're going to have to be at peace. We're going to have to, you know, be truly dialed in, because, hey, Esau is getting ready to put us to death for our faith and our testimony in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, let me finish this. It says, for the Most High proved them and found them worthy from himself. Right, when you go into that word prove, I forget the word in the Greek, but I know it means to be tested, man. Hey, and we're all getting ready to be tested. We're being tested every day, man. But it's just coming in different levels, man. Hey, pretty soon we're getting ready to be tested even unto blood, even with the facing imminent death, man. But I got some examples of our forefathers who was put in that position. They didn't lose their integrity. They didn't try to save their, you know, they didn't try to seek to save their life, man. A lot of them lost their lives, you know, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And we're getting ready to be put in that same position, man. And you got to ask yourself every day, are you willing to die for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man? You see, and that's something that I think about every day. That's why sometimes, you know, I find like my wife and my family, sometimes they don't find me in the best of mood. Sometimes they're talking to me and I don't even hear them, because I'm just constantly thinking, you know, picture, you know, thinking about the things that are getting ready to come, thinking about the MOTB, the trial of our faith getting ready to be tested, you know, martial law happening, all hell breaking loose. You know, I'm thinking about what type of spirit am I going to be in, praying that the Most High keep me rooted and grounded, that the Lord is keeping all the Akim and the elders and the apostles and all of the elect rooted and grounded in these times that are coming, man, and that we're ultimately built to last in these times that are getting ready to come, and that we could go out and be in the same spirit as some of our ancient forefathers. It says, and God proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace have he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. You see, and this is you know, this is what we're trying to find ourselves in this, in that lot, being the ones that was tried, being the ones that did overcome, being the ones were faced with imminent death during the hour of temptation, during persecution, being locked up, being defamed, being brought before governors and rulers, before being faced with our head in the guillotine, that we stood firm for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai through it all, man. And not even the imminent face of death did we faint or get weak and turn back on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, but took manly, valiant deaths for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. It says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect, man. See? And that's where we want to find ourselves, but it's going to come with a lot, man. It's going to come, you know, like I said, with a lot, losing a lot of things, being in situations you probably never thought that you would be in, man. You see, but remember, at the end of the day, it's all a test from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai at the end of the day, man. So we got to be daily preparing ourselves to be in these type of situations. Hey, because, hey, you know, you just want to constantly be prepared, you know, so when you do be in these situations, you've already played it over in your mind a thousand times. But of course, you know, the Most High is going to deal how he's going to deal. But at the end of the day, you know, you have these thoughts in your minds, man. It is what it is. But hey, man, at the end of the day, we got great examples of how to be when these situations come. So let me get this real fast. Yep. This is Romans 15:4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning." You see? Things that are written aforetime, meaning what? The things that are written within the scriptures, man. And we got great history and great feats that our forefathers endured, you know, all throughout the scriptures to give us what? Hope, to give us faith, to increase our learning, to know that the things that we're going through, a lot of our ancient forefathers went through those very things and worse, and they all came out the better when they put their faith and trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, hey, and these things apply unto this in these times, and they're getting ready to present themselves in a major way, man. All right, so it's like, you know, hey, the hell with these niggas in the world, the hell with these 2/3, with these naysayers, these doubters, these unbelievers, these scoffers, because hey, I guarantee you this, but hey, when these things come, and when Jacob's trouble come, ain't none of them going to be prepared. Hey, ain't none of that podcast money, none of that fame and followers and money and merchandise that they were selling, all of the praise of men and women that they got in this world, you know, none of that shit is going to matter, hey, when the Lord turns up the volume, when the Lord starts bringing cold-hearted, brutal judgment on 2/3 of these proud-ass jakes out here, man. And guess what? They're going to get everything that they deserve, man. All right, and all that so-called worldly wisdom, all of that acclaim and praise of men ain't gonna do nothing for you in that day, man. It's gonna get you ultimately destroyed, man, by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And we gonna say we told you so, man. And you're gonna see those same men that you were scoffing, mocking, talking shit about, saying that we're these Hebrew Israelites must be stopped, and we're idiots, we're morons, we don't know what we're talking about, we're believing in a fairy tale book, you know, we're not Israelites, we're not this, we're not that. Hey, yeah, you're going to eat every last one of those words when your ass is put in a detention center, getting your head put in the guillotine, and you're going to be seeing those same men that you scoffed and mocked at being delivered, man. All right? Having divine intervention on their side, being released from these prisons, man. Getting the spiritual power, getting beamed up into the chariots, man. And your black ass sitting down here on Babylon getting ready to eat a missile, man. So the hell with these non-believing Israelites, man. Hey, we already know what their fate is going to be. They're all going to be destroyed here. So we need to only worry about those that be like such unto ourselves, man, and worry about the elect and how the godly is going to be saved. The hell with 2/3. They're finished, man. You know? It says, Romans 15:4, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." You see? And this is where our hope is in these scriptures. It's not in having a college degree or having some, fame in this world, or a basketball contract, or NBA endorsements, or 100,000 followers on fucking Instagram, or the love and the praise of this world, man. None of that shit matters at the end of the day, man. And it's all. Let me get that real fast, man. Lord willing, I can find it, man. See, because none of that, all this worldly shit that the people of this world hold in high regards, it's all an abomination in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. But we want to be found pleasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's what it's all about. And Lord willing, we will be. All right? So let me get some of these precepts, man. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." You see? And it's something that, we keep the heart all the times, man. Hey, like I said, it's constant temptation bombarding us every single day, especially in a wicked society as America, man. There's things here that's trying to tear you from your faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua every single day, man. From the music, from the television, you know what I mean? From the people that you interact with every day, because they're all pushing, wickedness, man. They're all promoting it. They speak about it. They're indulging in it, and if they could, they would try to get you to partake in these worldly and lust of the flesh, man. And a lot of it, it can be enticing if you're not rooted and grounded, if you're weak in the faith, if you don't fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, these things can tug and pull, at your spirit, man, to make you feel like, now you want to serve the Lord, man. Everybody else is doing this, doing that, and it always seems like the niggas that are doing the most wickedness have the best lives, man. But that's just what it looks like on the outside. Hey, but inside, man, those niggas are through. They're tormented, man. They're filled with demons, It says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." And that's the state that we constantly find ourselves in, serving the Lord, But at the end of the day, hey, we're always getting our daily bread. The Lord always finds a way for us to get, to have what we need, man. You see? But that'll drive a person in the world mad, because the person in the world, they don't want to be satisfied with just having their daily bread. And you got a lot of these Israelites that are examples of that, man. They're always talking about building. They're always talking about, how much money they're making. Doing this, doing that, calling us bums, using this truth to become Israelite celebrities. They always got some hustle, some grift, selling merchandise, They're always promoting themselves as some they always got some damn gimmick and some hustle going on, man. You see, but not the true men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Hey, we're going to be very lowly. We're going to be just barely getting by, man. Hey, and trust me, hey, a lot of the brothers that's in GMS, if they really wanted to use this world, man, and use this truth as a means to get money, have their cash apps, having this, scan the barcode, selling merchandise, selling this, selling that. Hey, brothers got talents where brothers can make a shitload of money. But that's not the spirit that the true men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua are in, man. That's not the example that our elders and apostles gave us, man. And we're doing it the right way. So the Lord's going to always look out for us and give us exactly what we need, man. Because we ultimately know, hey, this is not our rest at the end of the day, and we're going to get the full reward in the kingdom of heaven anyway. But we just got to be patient and suffer on this side, And that's a better situation to be in, man. Because trust me, all these jakes that's getting all this money, that's making merchandise, that's out there coming up some other way and trying to do too much. Hey, there's a lot of wickedness that's going on behind closed doors, man. And at any moment the Lord wants, He can expose that shit and have you looking like the peg master Alazar. See? So it's best to just remain humble and lowly, man. It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." See? And that's what we want to be, those acceptable men. We ain't trying to sell out. We ain't trying to be compromised. We ain't trying to put ourselves in a position to where, we can be outed, man. Or we can be moving in a way that goes against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Hey, we want to remain on the right side of the Most High at all times, And that's like I said, that's the best lane to be in, man. And we got plenty of examples of these jakes that's in this truth, that do too damn much. That's going off the deep end. That's going up some way that's not advised, man. And we see how they end up going out. It says, "Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in Him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fail." Right? See? So we got to be patient, man. We got to continuously wait. Love you too. So we got to be patient. We got to wait, man. Like I said, a lot of these guys, that nigga Tazariah said he ain't waiting on Yahweh Shai. He gonna save his people. He gonna get them off the pipe. He gonna do this. He gonna do that. And watch how that nigga gonna end up, man. Hey, his day is coming too. Hey, we gotta continuously, patiently wait on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right, we got to wait for his mercy. We got to wait for his salvation. Hey, we got to wait for divine intervention. We got to wait to be delivered from all of the evil and the perils that's getting ready to come our way, man. It's not in our hands to save ourselves. It's all in the hands of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and we got to patiently wait, no matter what the situation looks like, no matter how thick in the mud we might be, no matter how much it may look like whatever situation we're in is impossible, man. The Lord is going to always make it through for his elect, man, and for those that truly trust and put their faith in him. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fail. See? It says, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. And here's the point. Look at the generations of old. See, in all the generations of old, all of our ancient forefathers, some of the examples that I'm going to show you, hey, they exhibited all of these qualities, man. All right, even when they was faced with imminent death, they put their faith in the Lord, man. They didn't let fear, they didn't let fear conquer them. They didn't let the threat of imminent death make them switch up, man. They didn't let, the fear of losing all things cause them to turn cold on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and to get weak and faint, man. And when they was put in these situations, they put their chins up. They stood tall, man, and they put their faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and they let his will be done. Because some of they put their faith in the Lord and they had to be put to death. But guess what? That great name and that work was going to continuously follow them forever, man. And it goes the opposite way. Hey, you get weak and you faint and you sell out to the fucking white man here in his last days and turn your back on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Guess what? There's going to be a reward for that, man. See, so you might as well, go out with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. Because with that comes a great reward, great name, fame, a reputation. And ultimately, the Lord ain't going to forget it, man. It says, and look at the generations of old. That's why I read that Romans, the 15th chapter, man. The things that are written aforetime were written for our learning, man. There's all type of comfort and hope in these scriptures, man. But we gotta be able to tap into them, especially tap in when we're faced with those same obstacles and same situations. Because hey, our hour of temptation is getting ready to come upon us too. But we have the generations of old to look back to be inspired, man. To feed off of that energy and to see how they went out and go out in like manner, man. Because it always worked out for the better. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? And the answer is no, man. Like I said, now some simple-minded might think, that's why I read that Ecclesiastes earlier. Some might see us die as martyrs for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and then people will be like, oh, them niggas dying for nothing. Oh, you stupid. I would have just sold out. I would have just lied. I would have just pretended like I ate that swine to get all the other jakes to fall in line. Yeah, but that's why you're going to lose, man. You see? No real man with any integrity would ever go out in that fashion. And we got plenty of our forefathers that gave us examples of that. Like I said, those are the things that we got to tap into, especially in these times that are ahead. It's gonna get bad out here, man. More than what these people could ever imagine. It says, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction. You see? And like I said, a lot of these Jakes, they ain't looking to be saved by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. A lot of these Jakes don't even believe that Jacob's trouble is coming. A lot of these dudes is in the spirit of, oh, we already been through enough. We just suffered enough. Well, nigga, that's your opinion. Hey, that's your opinion, and that's how you feel. But that's not what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has forewarned us. He told us that, look, Jacob's trouble is still coming. Hey, read Daniel's 12th chapter. It's going to get so bad out here that Michael's going to have to stand up and intervene on behalf of the Lord's elect. So how the hell have we already been through enough when the worst time that has ever been since there's ever been a nation is getting ready to come upon us all in our lifetimes, man? You see? Like we've been telling you, look, all these FEMA, all these different, NASA, these other different agencies of America. Remember years ago they was giving all those hollow tip bullets, millions of rounds of hollow tip bullets. They just bolstered up the budget for the ICE and immigration and these federal agencies. Man, what the hell you think why you think they're doing that for, man? Why you think they got, they're showing you a constant police state-like atmosphere over here in LA, over here in these different democratic sanctuary cities, man, because these devils are getting ready to wage war upon you Israelites, man, upon you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Why do you think they're telling you this new police state looking, get prepared for a permanent police state, man? These devils getting ready to wage war. They're getting ready to activate these detention centers, man. They're getting ready to deem all of you American citizens as terrorists until you basically can be trusted and eventually, worship his image and accept his mark in this new dystopian technocracy he's getting ready to establish, man. And the only way you're going to be able to be invited into this new world that he's creating is for you to bow down to it, man. Give him your biometrics. Merge yourself with machine. Take his RFID microchip. And anybody that doesn't participate or acquiesce into it, you're going to be put to death. You're going to be killed. You're going to be separated, first and foremost, from buying and selling, from being recognized as a citizen, to going into stores, traveling, getting the airplane ticket, boarding a bus, boarding a train, having access to drive a car, to have access to their central bank digital currencies, and ultimately be a citizen in his new world order, unless you worship his image and take that goddamn MOTB, man. Otherwise, guess what? You're going to be separated. You won't be able to buy and sell, get water, get food, and then eventually the penalty is going to be death, man. So what the hell, you Jake better wake the hell up, man. And we're getting ready to be, and that's going to be the ultimate test, is that MOTB, man. But like I said, we have our ancient forefathers who had their hour of temptations of their day. And I'm going to get into that after this. It says, for the Lord is, I read that, it said, but woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that go up 2 ways. And that's 2/3 of our people, man. All these scoffers, all these shit talkers, all these podcasters, that saint and the sinner jerk off, that Fugazi, and all the others that's coming up against the Hebrew Israelites, that's coming up against the doctrine of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. See, they're going to be the faint-hearted ones. They're going to be the ones that's not going to be protected. They're the ones that's not ultimately going to be prepared, that's not preparing themselves for what's ultimately coming. Because they're too worried about trying to save the fucking white man. They're too worried about Esau, Edom not being able to receive salvation or receiving any forgiveness from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. So therefore, they're rejecting this message. They're rejecting this gospel, which is going to lead to them being ultimately destroyed because you want to save this damn devil Esau, Edom, man. But at the same time, he's sharpening his sword, man. He's getting ready to come down upon all you Israelites out here. But you got this hard on for trying to save Esau. He ain't looking to save you niggas, man. He don't even want to the majority of you Israelites in his new world order, man. He's gonna depop a lot of you worthless, useless eaters, man. And the majority of you useless eaters here in Babylon the Great are you Israelites and you tribes, man. Either he's going to put you to death, or he's going to put you in one of these detention centers, he's going to send you to Alligator Alcatraz, or he's going to load you on one of these cargo ships and dump your ass right in the Atlantic, man, or the Pacific, or wherever the hell he's going to dump you niggas, man. Because in his new world order, he don't need the majority of you useless ass people out here, man. When are you going to get that through your thick skull? All right? So it says, but woe be unto the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goeth 2 ways. It says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore he shall not be defended. See? Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? See? And that's something that the majority of these people don't want to really understand. Thank you. You know? Because you don't really want to believe that these bad times that are prophesied in the scriptures are coming. You know? You think everything's going to be okay. America's just going to be the way it's always been, man. But you can see this administration is gearing it up to where they're getting ready to come down upon you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. What the hell do you think MAGA is all about? Making America great again. Making America white again. All right? Getting you tribes and you violent, uncouth niggas out of Babylon the Great. See? Like I said, I did a video the other day. You see Carnival Cruise don't want you niggas around anymore. You see they got this black fatigue, and that ain't happening for no reason. Because what? Hey, the MAGA movement, the Maha movement, and Esau's New World Order is going to, the plan of it is to get rid of a lot of you 2/3 Jakes out here, man. But you over here trying to cape and save Esau, Edom. Okay, keep that same energy, man. And that's why at the times that are coming, these Jakes ain't going to be ready, man. Because your faith, you don't have faith. You don't really believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. All right? Your fear of the Most High is taught to you by the commandments of men, which tells you that you ain't got to worry about the Most High. He don't care what you do. The Lord accepts you as you are. He hates the sinner. He don't hate the sinner and all this other BS, man. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. All right? So let me get this, man. This is Hebrews chapter 1, 11 and 1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, you see? And that's what a lot of Jake don't have. They don't have faith in the unknown and in the unseen. That's why Jake is telling you, y'all believe in that sky daddy, that he gonna come and crack the clouds and come save y'all, because Jake don't believe in that, man. Because Jake has become carnal. Jake is carnal. And Babylon the Great has put this spirit on him as if you can't see it, you can't touch it, then you can't believe it. You see? They don't believe that Yahweh Shai, with who they call JC, a so-called black man, is gonna come and come in a spaceship and deliver his very elect, man. Jake don't believe in divine intervention. Jake don't believe we're going to get spiritual power, man. Jake don't believe that the kingdom of heaven is even going to be established, man. And that it's going to be for Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to be the rulers and have the dominion over it, man. Jake will believe he's going to be here in America and be a nigga for the rest of his life, man. That's why Jake, that's why you got these niggas coming up against the truth, saying that you're not a Hebrew, you're not this, you're not that. Y'all can't even come together because Jake just want to be a nigga here in Babylon the Great and get his little small slice of the pie here in America and continuously be a third-class citizen and under the boot of all of the so-called white man and all these other nations, man. And these weak-minded niggas is okay with that, but not the elect, man. Hey, we want dominion, we want rulership. We want the keys to the universe, man, so that we can establish a righteous kingdom, a righteous society all throughout the planet Earth, man, and put these heathen nations in subjection and beneath of where they belong, man. That's the rightful and true order of things, man. But Jake has been so beat down, so destroyed, so beat down here in Babylon the Great that he can't see himself but nothing more than what he truly is, man. Well, that's why the scriptures say, is Israel a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled, man? You see, the majority of 2/3 of Jake, they love being in that position, man. They like being under the so-called white man's boot and being a third-class citizen, but not the elect, man. Hey, we want the kingdom, man. That's why we're constantly pushing the kingdom, constantly hastening Yahweh Shai return, because we know what all comes with it, man. It says, for by it the elders obtain a good report. It says, through faith we understand that the words were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Right, meaning that we know that the Heavenly Father created the whole earth and the universe through Yahweh Shai, but we don't literally see Yahweh Shai. We don't literally see the Heavenly Father, but hey, he's seen, and we know that he is through everything that we see every day, through this creation, through gravity, through these different planets, through nature, through animals, through just this whole wisdom and knowledge that runs this whole planet Earth, man. The air, the wind, here it is, you breathing in and out, but you don't really understand how the hell you're breathing. Blood is pumping through your veins. You got all these sophisticated organs and systems that keep you alive every single day. It shows you the craftsmanship and the handiwork of the Heavenly Father, man. And through that, man, we know that he is. How much more the things that are written within the scriptures? We have hope and faith in it. You see? And we have hope that Yahweh Shai is going to crack those clouds, man, and save us from the hands of our enemies and give us spiritual power. Though we don't literally see it happening, hey, we're reading in the scriptures, and then we putting our faith 100% behind it, man. And we got mad examples of our forefathers exhibiting it, So that gives us hope and faith, man. Hey, because we ain't got faith and hope in anything else in this fucking world, man. If you believe in everything that Esau is selling you, hey, you a damn fool, man. It says, by faith Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, and the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it being dead yet speaketh. It says, by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death. And you ask Jake, do they believe that? Jake don't even believe that. I don't believe. Oh, the one body niggas, man. We don't believe in the miracles, man. That's witchcraft, man. Because them niggas ain't got no faith, man. So they ain't gonna be defended, man. They ain't going to be delivered from Jacob's trouble. They ain't going to be delivered when they're put in the concentration camp with their head facing the guillotine. But I guarantee you, when they're in that situation, then them niggas going to try to say that they believe. Then they're going to be trying to call on the Most High, praying for deliverance and spiritual power to bust them out. But you ain't going to receive it, man, because you really don't believe, and you push out there that those things shouldn't be believed in, man. So your black ass is not going to be defended. That's why you sold out in the first fucking place. Well, he even said, I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of not having it, because, nigga, you ain't truly a servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So you went and sold out to the fucking white man for a little bit of money. And you sold your soul. And that soul is going to be required. And all these other Israelites that's going out that way, man. It says, by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because the Most High had translated him. For before his translation, he had his testimony that he pleased the Most High. Here's the point. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. So faith is a heavy and main ingredient in this thing of ours, man. All right? What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, man. We got to have faith in the unknown, in the things. I mean, we know because it's written, but we don't literally see it, man. But you got to have faith that, hey, the Most High is, and he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And if you don't have that in the time of Jacob's trouble, when you don't have that faith when you're faced with the hour of temptation, being forced, being put between getting your head chopped off or taking that micro C-hip, if you don't have faith to believe that that if you die for the Heavenly Father, hey, your works are going to follow you. You're going to be resurrected. You're going to be rewarded. You're going to leave a good name, you know? If you don't believe that, then guess what? You're going to take that micro C hit, man. Because a lot of you jakes are going to fold and get weak, because you're going to be more focused on that death than having faith in the thing that you can't see. Jake's going to be like, shit, I see that guillotine. I don't see the Most High here right now. So, hey, I'm going to put my faith in shit, not get my head in that guillotine. So give me that microchip. Shit, fuck it. Yeah, but hey, I guess because you're going to be destroyed. Remember, scriptures say the righteous are going to scarcely be saved, man. Hey, and that's how the Lord works. He'll test you up into that very last moment to see if your faith is truly in him or not, man. And at that last second, at that last millisecond, hey, that's when the miracle is going to happen. That's when the Lord's going to intervene, man. That's just like the apostle was locked in that prison. You know, when they stood so stiffly for the name of the Most High, it wasn't until they were in that prison that the miracle came, man. You see, but Jake ain't thinking on that manner. Jake ain't thinking on that wavelength, man. Because these niggas are carnal, and they're only gonna have faith in what they can see in that day. It says Hebrews 11:6, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, man. See, you gotta believe that. That's why I read that Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. It exhibited the men of our forefathers exhibited all those characteristics in their time. Let me get that real fast. For the word rewarded. Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Let's get that word for rewarder. And the word for rewarder is a mistapodose. I can't say that shit. Mistapotases. It says a rewarder, one who pays wages. It says, oh, look at this. It says, a reward used of the fruit naturally resulting from toils and endeavors. It says, of the rewards which the Most High bestows or will bestow upon good deeds and endeavors. Right. And what's going to be a reward of you being faithful even until the end is to receive eternal life, man. To receive salvation, to have a good name that's going to follow you forever and ever and ever, man. All right? See? And that's what that's the reward that we're looking to have. Not to receive the reward from what the world's going to give you, or what Esau's going to give you. What? Here it is, you're going to sell your soul and try to save your life, and the reward is going to give you is a micro C-hip and some CBDCs in a 15-minute city and a total digital slave fucking system where you're going to eat the bugs and never own nothing and be a perpetual slave? Let's be out of your goddamn mind, man. But like I said, that's the reward 2/3 of our people are going to choose, man. A lot of them are going to seek to save their lives rather than lose it for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Hey, but the elect, we're going to lose our lives so that we can win Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai and be rewarded, man. Have rest from our labors, man, and receive a glorious kingdom and the reward of everything that we're going to receive in the kingdom of heaven, man. It's a no-brainer. It says, but by faith, Noah, matter of fact, I'm going to jump down to the point. Let me jump down to 32. So I want to get to these different things. This is Romans 11:32. 11:32. It says, "And what shall I say more? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and of Barak and of Samson and of Jephthah and of David also and Samuel and of the prophets." Remember, like I read, look at the generations of old, man. And these are plenty of examples of our ancient forefathers, man, that remained faithful, man, that didn't faint, that didn't get weak, that didn't turn tail, that didn't lose hope and faith, even in their most direst of situations, man. It says, "Who through faith subdued kingdoms." You see? See that, man? Wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. You see, and this is what all of our ancient forefathers that didn't forsake the Most High when it mattered the most received, man. They took down kingdoms, man. They stopped the mouth of lions. You know, they obtained righteousness. It says they obtained promises. And don't we have promises coming unto us? Like I just said, Revelations 3:10. Let me get that real fast. This is one of the promises that the faithful is going to receive, man. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. No, this is Revelation 3:10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon..." No, that's not the one I want. 2:10. Yeah, well, no, I will read that. It says, that I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And what is the hour of temptation? When they're going to present this micro seed here, man. And I'm about to read you Daniel, Shadrach, and Abednego's hour of temptation and what they received for their faithfulness, man. And it applies to us in these very same times, man. So we got plenty of examples, man, of how we should move and what spirit we should be in when this temptation or this trial or test comes upon us, man. It says, "Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." You see? Don't let no man take thy crown. Not even death. No matter Esau spewing out hatred and threatening to boil you in a vat of acid, man, or chopping your head off, or throwing you off a building, or putting your head in the guillotine. No matter what the hell this devil throws at you, don't let him take your crown or lose your hope and faith in the reward of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. It says, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar." Hey, and this is part of the promise that the elect are going to receive if we remain faithful and keep our works until the end. It says, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out." Right, you're going to have a permanent seat in Yahweh Shai's kingdom. You're going to be one of the 144,000, you know, one of the governing bodies in the kingdom of heaven. Have a constant seat at Yahweh Shai's table. Be a ruler over 5 cities, 10 cities, 1 city, you know? You're going to be one of those righteous judges in the kingdom in heaven forever. And you're going to receive immortal life and fame and a name that will never diminish ever. All right? It says, "And I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name. He that haven't..." See? So, hey, that's part of the promises we're going to receive if we remain faithful. So back here, it says, "Who through faith," Hebrews 11:33, "who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire." Who's that talking about? Daniel, Meshach, and Abednego, man, during their hour of temptation. And we're going to see what their righteousness and their faith brought them. It says, "escape the edge of the sword." You see, like I said, hey, some of us are going to be put in one of these detention centers, man. Esau gonna bring up all your charges. He's gonna talk about you did this video, this video. We got you for treason, dissent, extremism, exciting violence, chatting down Babylon. Calling upon the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They're gonna have all type of charges trumped up against us in one of these detention centers, hoping that but if you just denounce all of that and receive this MOTB and bow down and worship us and take this Marco C hip, merge with yourself with machine, be a part of our new world order. Hey, we'll forgive you of all these charges, and you can have immortality in our kingdom. Take our Neuralink. We can enhance your IQ by 500 points. We can implant you with this what that shit called telekinesis. We'll give you immortal life, which is all bullshit. They're going to be doing all these things to try to get you to deny Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and to worship and serve Esau in this new world order, man. But we know better. We know what that all entails. It says, quench the violence of fire, escape the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, wax valiant in fight, and turn to flight the armies of the aliens. Hey, spiritual power, man. See? And these are all things that we have in store as long as we just remain faithful and keep the faith until the very end, man. And remember, Esau's going to turn up the heat. He's going to turn up the threatenings. He's going to do a lot of things to try to get you to fear. You see, but we know better. Why? Let me get this real fast. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 27. It says, 27, it says, fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. Here's the point. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. You see? That's why all Esau can really do is put us to death, man. That's all he can do, and that's all he's going to be threatening to do. But at the end of the day, know that our soul and our eternity is in the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. And if you remain faithful until the end, hey, that soul that you have is going to be taken to the Most High, and when it comes back on the earth, it's going to be greatly rewarded, man. It's going to be rewarded. It's going to be uplifted. It's going to be a righteous, eternal soul with fame and glory forever and ever in the kingdom of heaven, man. And what you did will echo throughout the halls of eternity, man. In the kingdom of heaven, everywhere you go, you're going to have the respect of all Israelites, man. All people on the planet, man. And your name and what you did is going to be constantly upheld and given the proper respect that it deserves, man. And it's never going to be diminished. It can never be tarnished. It can never be shat on. It can never be, deleted or spit upon, man. And that's what I want, It says, verse 28, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. All right, let me get an example of Eleazar, because that's the spirit that he was in, All right? He was one of those ancient forefathers that wanted to leave a good name, and that didn't sell out when the opportunity presented itself, all right? This is let me get some of this water. But yeah, shout out to that sister that brought that water, It's hot as hell out here. But let me get this. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Verse 18. I'll read up a little bit so you can get the gist of what's going on. This is 2 Ezra 6:1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their father. Hey, and this is what the hour of temptation, when Esau bring it, is going to entail, man. You think Esau, when he comes to this new world order, you're going to have to forget about all the, you're going to be able to worship Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You're not going to be able to believe in the Holy Scriptures and in faith and then the second return of Hamashiach Yahushua. Those things are going to be outlawed and banned, man. You're not going to be able to to believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in this new world order, those things are going to be done away with, man. And you're going to have to denounce all of those things. So that which is dead is going to be now. So this is why you know these accounts they hold weight in what we're dealing with today. Because basically, hey, it's the same individuals coming back. It says to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High. You see? And that's what this new world order is going to entail. You see? It's going to be a whole new laws and governance that these devils are going to implement on this planet. And they ain't going to be nowhere governed after the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. It says, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and spiritually, who is the temple now? The Israelites, all 12 tribes. We represent the temple, mainly the elect, but the people represent the temple now in these days, man. And he's about to come to try to defile us. What the hell you think he did with that stabby jabby a couple of 2 years ago? You know? What the hell you think that was about? We know what was in that shit. Some DNA altering shit that changed your molecular structure. And he got more things like that in these labs that he's going to get ready to try to defile you people with, man. It says, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things which were not lawful. See? So this is what the Greeks were doing to the Israelites during that time, man. Totally defiling and stinking up the holy city and the holy place, and they was trying to get Israelites to defile themselves after the custom of these nations, man. It says the altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And don't you see these niggas coming out saying that now? Now Esau got Jake telling us they think they Hebrew Israelites. They ain't no Israelites. You ain't no Jew. You a black man. You know? So we see these things happening all over again, man. You got Vocab Malone talking about, you guys are not the Israelites, you're Africans. Just come on back to white Jesus. Stop calling yourself Jews and Israelites and the chosen people. We already have the chosen people over there in Israel, you know? Bullshit like that, you know? It says, and in that day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices, and when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. See, so they was trying to totally flip and turn Jake out. But let me get to the point, all right? So we see what was happening, and you had a lot of the Israelites that was, that was getting weak and becoming faint-hearted, and fear of persecution and being put to death by these Greeks. Hey, they forsook Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know, they felt that temptation of the day and turned themselves over to become abominable, man. You know, they totally turned their back on the Hebrew Israelite heritage and became Gentiles, became Greeks, became Hellenized, man. Became defiled, man. But you had what? Well, I'm gonna read down. Go on to verse 18, right? Let me start right here at 12. It says, now I beseech those that read in this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities. You see? See? And this is the spirit that we got to be in. We saw those things happening. We see these things happening now, but we can't let these things discourage us or cause us to become so weak that we lose hope and faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. But we still got to remain faithful, because we always had ancient forefathers that remained faithful even in calamitous times as these. It says, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. For it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For as not with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us. And therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us, and though he punish with adversity, yet he doth never forsake his people. You see? like I said, a lot of these punishments that are coming upon Jake, hey, it's all well deserved, man. But the Lord is going to always make a way for his elect to make it out. He's always going to put the spirit on his chosen ones to persevere. You see, and we hoping that we're in that same stead. Verse 17, but let this, what we have spoken, be for a warning unto us, and now we will come to the declaring of the matter in a few words. And here's the point, man. One of our ancient forefathers that didn't give weed, that didn't sell out, that didn't turn, you know? Verse 18, it says, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh, you see? And this is Eleazar's hour of temptation of his day, man. He was constrained to eat swine's flesh, man. Why? Because they wanted to use Eleazar, who was well-respected, an aged man, to sell out before all of the congregation so that it could compel all the other followers of Jews to follow after him, you know, to sell out and to eat it as well, man. But let's see what he did in his hour of temptation, okay? It says, but he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. So he said, fuck it, I ain't eating that shit. Put me to death. I'd rather die gloriously for the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Hey, and this is how we're going to overcome. Let me get this. Yep, this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. And Eleazar was a beautiful example of that, man. All right? He would rather die gloriously than to stain his life, man, in the sight of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because he understood that, look, you can't escape the judgment of the Most High for selling out and turning your back on him and eating that swine flesh and compelling all the other Israelites after your example to get weak and to become faint. He didn't want that, as Eleazar would say, he didn't want that on his jacket, man. He didn't want that stain on his soul, man. So he'd rather die gloriously. He went to the torment, you know. Just like some of us, we're going to have to put our head in that guillotine, man. Some of us are going to have to die as faithful martyrs, man, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And choose rather to die than to go out in that fashion. Yep, it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. You see? And this is a beautiful example of that. You see? It says, and as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision. So you had wicked niggas telling him, look, man, just get some lawful meat, but just pretend that it's swine, so that you could persuade the people to eat it. To get, even though, he was like, hey, man, hell no, that's even more wicked, man. Because he understood, look, the Lord was going to judge him for that, man. You can't do that shit. You can't lay stumbling blocks before Israel. That's something that the Lord hates, man. You know, somebody laying a stumbling block, leading your people astray. That's not what a true leader of Israel would do. That's not the example that he would set, man. All right? It says, such as was lawful for him to use and make as if he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. You see? It's wickedness, man. But a man of integrity, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't go out like that, man. Shit, you're gonna have a lot of these. You got a lot of these jakes doing that now, selling out to fucking Esau and saying, well, eventually we gotta use Esau's paperwork. But hey, Yahweh Shai didn't leave that example. When did Yahweh Shai link his ministry with the Roman Empire, man? He didn't do that shit. But you got these jakes in these days getting these 501c3 charters, linking this ministry with the government. You know, they done sold out. You know. And then they're on the flip side trying to present it as if, we got to use Esau's paperwork, which is a goddamn lie, which is all bullshit. See? It says that in so doing, he might be delivered from death. See? said he loved not his life unto the death, man. He said, shit, I'd rather die than to sell out and than to go that wicked route and to deceive Israel and to eat, to making them believe that I ate swine flesh so they can be compelled to follow after my example. He had more integrity than that, man. Oh, let me get that real fast. What was that? Proverbs 22? I think it's Proverbs 22 and 1. Oh, okay. Yep, this is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1. It says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. And I guarantee you, if Eleazar had done that, he would have gave him all type of riches. He would have gave him money. Oh, that's what happened with when you read about the woman and her 7 sons. I think who was that, Antiochus or whoever that king was. He told him, look, if you just bow down and sell out, look, I'll give you chains, I'll give you glory, I'll give you gold, I'll give you a high position, next to the king. If you just was to sell out, man, and to defile your name before your people, man. See, but the righteous men and our ancient forefathers didn't do that shit, man. So we got to follow. We got those things to look back upon. Proverbs 22 and 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. You see? It says, verse 4, by humility and the fear of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, are riches and honor and life. You see? Those are the real riches, to have favor in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, more than gold and silver that you'll get from selling out, from defiling your name, from taking a bag, from selling your people out just to try to save your life, man. See, it's beautiful. It's all in here, man. And it says that in doing so, he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straight ways to send him to the grave. So it tells you that he was just meditating, like, look, man, my whole childhood that I brought up with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, never to sell out, never to sell my soul, never to put anything above the Most High. He was like, I'll be a goddamn fool to pretend like I'm eating this pork to get my people to follow after this wickedness, man. It went against everything that he was, from his whole upbringing and from his Hebrew Israelite heritage, man. And that goes for all of us until this day, man. You see, that's why this word got to be in you. That's why a story like this got to be with us in these times that we're getting ready to face during our hour of temptations, when you're brought before judges and rulers, man. All right? You got to think about your legacy and what type of name you're going to leave before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And remember, at the end of the day, like I said in that Proverbs 22, what did it say? I'll read that again. It said, but humility and the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai are riches and honor and life. You see? Oh, look at this. It made me think of Eleazar. Let me read that again. I'm going to read this, right? It says, but he began to consider discreetly, as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereuntil he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightway to send him to the grave. For it became not our age, said he, and any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80, which was 90 years old, were now gone to a strange religion. And so they, through mind hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable, man. So he had hella integrity, man. He was like, shit, not me. I ain't gonna be the one, man. It said, remember, it said as he was brought up as a child. This is Proverbs 22 and 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. And we know what manner of life and the training that Eleazar had from a child, which was according to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So he knew the consequences that he faced if he did what he was told to do by those Greeks, man. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And it shows you how true the scripture was, because this proverb was written way before Eleazar came on the scene. And we see an example of how when you train up our children in the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, like Eleazar in his old age, he didn't depart from it. He was meditating upon it when he was faced with this situation that he was being presented with, man. You see? And it says, for though the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. That's why I read that Matthew 10 and 28, man. Fear not them which can kill the body, but fear him that can kill body and soul and hell, man. So he was thinking about his legacy. He was thinking about the name he was going to leave, man. He was keeping his integrity all the way until the end, man. See, great examples of our forefathers and of old, man. Did any of them that called upon the name of the Most High, were they ever forsaken? Or did any that put their faith in him destroyed, man? All right, it says, wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will show myself such an one as mine age requireth, and to leave a notable example to such as be young, to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and the holy laws, man. So he said, the hell with that, man. I'm going out honorably, manfully for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because he knew, you know, ultimately what would happen if he sold out, man. That would be a blot on his everlasting soul. And every time he came back and was regenerated, hey, that was going to be stuck on him, man. That was going to be on his jacket, as Alazar and these niggas in the world would say. So Eleazar said, the hell with that, man. Not me, all right? It says and when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. And they that led him, changing the good will they bear him a little before into hatred. And that's what Esau's going to do, man. He's going to be promising you the world. Oh yeah, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. I'll expunge you of all these charges and your hate and your street speaking and your believing in the Lord and your extremists, your hate crimes, just detention center. I'll take you out of there, man. You know, I'll clean all your debts. Just take this micro C-hip and deny Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He's going to be coming peaceful. That's why scriptures say, never trust that enemy, man. You know, even though he go crouching, take more heed of him, man. But it said what? It said when Eleazar told them go fuck themselves, their countenance changed. Then they start cussing him out. They started yelling and screaming, and all those kind words turned into hatred. It's going to be the same with this devil Esau. He's going to come with those smooth words. He's going to come with, all of these promises and how good it's going to be. But once you see you're firmly, you're firmly rooted and not selling out and not going the evil route, hey, he's going to turn to hatred. Yep, it says, then they that led him, changing the good will they bear him a little before into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded as they thought from a desperate mind. Yeah, they thought that he was going to sell out. They thought he was going to take the bait, but he didn't take the bait. And he made them look stupid in front of all of the other Israelites that was watching, because it basically gave a lot of them hope. The ones that needed to hear it, heard it. And I'm pretty sure those that was righteous and those that was, inspired by that followed suit, man. It says, but when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that have the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in my body by being beaten. But in soul am well content to suffer these things, because I fear him. Man, that's bad right there, man. See, and that's the sentiment and the mind frame that we're going to have to take. Even the apostles showed that. Remember when they got beaten and was thrown into prison, and they was happy and praised, they called themselves worthy to be beaten for the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man? See? It's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful story. It says, and thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation, man. You see? See? And that's why we're still talking about it today. Hey, and we want to follow in that righteous footsteps, man. You see, because we read this and Jacob be like, well, that nigga was stupid, because I would have hated it. I would have got the bag. Shit, I wouldn't have went out like that, because you a bitch ass nigga, man. And ultimately, you see, you don't have a spiritual eye, and you don't have a mentality of leaving a legacy behind yourself, man. And that's what's going to happen to 2/3 of a lot of our people, man. When they're presented with the hour of temptation, they're going to all look to try to save their lives, man, in these last days. And they're going to lose their lives terribly. Not only by nuclear missile, but when they come in the kingdom, they're going to be ashamed. They're going to be looking down. And they're going to loathe themselves knowing that, yo, you went out like a bitch, man. You went out like a hoe-ass nigga before Esau and before Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. All right? Like a straight hoe-ass nigga, man. Let me get that. What is that? Oh, let me get that. I forget where it's at. See, man? So, hey, we got great forefathers and things to look back towards to give us hope in these times. Revelation 6? Oh, no, 14. This is this is Revelations 14:8. It says, and therefore followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in their forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. You see, and that's going to be the reward. That's going to be what you're going to receive if you fail our modern day hour of temptation, which is receiving that microseed, man. You see, and we just had a beautiful example of Eleazar during his time of temptation of his day, how he went out, man, what he decided to do. All right, and we got to follow, hey, and we got that to look unto when we're faced with our time. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Because if you take that mark of the beast, you're gonna be burnt with nuclear fire, man. That's gonna be the judgment of you that receive it, along with receiving that cancerous pus and that sword that comes with taking that goddamn thing, man. It says, here is the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. So Eleazar, now, of course, that happened before he died, but we know that this still applies unto him. All right? Hey, that way that he died manfully, the way he stood so stiffly for the names and the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to be with him forever, man. And that great work is going to always follow him, man. That's like I keep saying, like Alazar would say, that's going to be on his jacket for all eternity, man. It says, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. You see? So this is why it's important that you want to leave die a manfully and glorious death before the Most High, man. So that could follow you, man. Like I said, it's going to follow you all the way into the kingdom of heaven. And nobody's going to ever be able to take that away from you, man. And you're going to receive that immortal life. You're going to receive that constant, praise, reward from that, man. All right? And that's a beautiful story, man. All right? Let me get this. This is Isaiah 57:1. It says, the righteous perisheth, and no man layeth to heart. Right? The righteous is going to die. They're like, oh, nigga stupid, God. Nobody really cares about when the righteous dies, man. Hey, but it's glorious in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It's going to be the same with us. Like I read earlier, a lot of these people are going to see the prophets and the men of the Lord die glorious death, but they're going to look at it as if we died in vain. That was stupid. Why we had to go out like that? But hey, in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, great is the death. How's it go? The martyrs? Let's see if I can find that. Sorry. find it. Yep, here we go. Put the wrong word in. It says it says precious in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the death of his saints. See? It's a precious thing. Especially when you die, righteously. When you die for, this truth, for the law, statutes, and commandments, and your faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's great in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. So it says, Isaiah 57:1, the righteous perisheth, and no man layeth to heart. And merciful men are taken away, and none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. You see? So, hey, just like Enoch, man. Hey, just like some brothers that died in this truth, from this day backwards, a lot of them were taken before, because the Lord he wanted to take them before the evil truly came, man. You see? Just like some of us, hey, might be taken before this evil fully comes, man. But if you're part of the elect, hey, it's nothing to look down upon. It's a beautiful thing. It says, he shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. You see, so that's just like Enoch. The Lord took him before he got corrupted by all of the evil and the wickedness of the time of his day, before the flood came, man. You got some brothers that pass on in this like manner here in this time. The Lord take them before the evil truly comes, because who knows? It might have got to a point to where they probably would have got corrupted, or they would have fell out the truth. So the Lord took them, while they were still in this truth, before maybe that could have happened unto them, man. But the point being is that, hey, the death, the righteous perish, and no man don't give a damn. Nobody cares, man. But how about Shem Yahushai cares? You see? All right. What else I got? Let me get this in Daniel's real quick. I'm not going to read the whole story. The brother should know it by now. But let's get to the point before, I really want to go into the words that Daniel, Daniel, Meshach, and Abednego did before, This is Daniel chapter 3. I'm going to read up and I'm going to jump down to the main point. Yep, it says, Daniel 3:1, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, governors, captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that he had set up. And then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And whoso falleth not down and worship the same shall be, and whosoever falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. You see? So that was the commandment that he said. If you didn't bow down to that image when the music played, you were going to be burnt in a fiery furnace, man. You see, so this was basically their hour of temptation of that day, man. But let's see how Daniel, Meshach, and Abednego played it out. All right? So let me go down. Just on the verse 8. It says, therefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. See? The same thing is going to happen unto us. These devils know that we speak against the MOTB. We're speaking against their new world order, what they're trying to establish. And it's just like we told Jake during that whole pandemic, not to bow down and take that thing that they're requiring for you to keep your job, for you to go to restaurants, for you to still have a pass to move freely about society. we were staunchly against our people receiving and taking that bullshit, just like we're against them taking this MOTB, which is getting ready to come upon the planet Earth, man. So guess what? They're going to be accusing us again, because we're going to stand firmly in telling our people not to take the mark of the beast under any circumstances, man. So it said, they accused the Jews. They spake and said to King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music should fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship it, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. You see? And we're gonna be putting that same accusation, because we ain't bowing down to no fucking technology, to no AI, to no goddamn mark of the beast, nor to his new world order. Kiss my ass. So what? Okay. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded, bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do you not serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kind of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Hey, and this is the same sentiment that Esau's going to have, man. He's going to be telling you, Jake, nigga, who going to save you from this? I got you here in this detention center. I got this I don't know if brothers heard, but now they're saying that in these not Alligator, Alcatraz, in these different detention centers, they got furnaces in there, man. See? So they're going to have that shit hot as hell, burning and fired up, and threatening to throw you in one of those joints, man. Or put your head in the guillotine. Or toss you into the alligator pit. Or whatever other source of, instrument of death he's going to have in these detention centers when you're faced with this hour of temptation, man. But in Meshach, Daniel's, and Abednego time, it was that burning fiery furnace, man. And you know that motherfucker was hot. They probably brought him right before it. You know, they heating it up. They're putting him before it. He's telling them, look, this is what you're going to face, what you're going to do, you know? Faced with imminent death, man. But let's see what Meshach, Abednego, with Meshach, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, what spirit they were in. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this manner. If it be so, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And you see, and this is why faith is going to have to be at an all-time high, man, because they sincerely believe that the Most High was going to be able to deliver them out of that imminent death and that burning fiery furnace that they was placed before, man. But you got a lot of Jake who will read this and say, oh, that's just an allegory. That's just a story. That, that didn't really happen. You see, because they don't want you to they want to destroy your faith, man. They don't want you to believe that this was an actual literal thing that was taking place, man. But it was an actual physical thing that took place, man. Just like our hour of temptation and Jacob's trouble is going to be an actual physical thing that's going to take place, man. But you got a lot of these weak-ass Israelites out here that don't want you to believe that these things are getting ready to come upon us. That our hour of temptation is bearing down upon us, you know? It says, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king. So they're saying, look, we believe our power can save us, but even if he don't save us, we ain't worshiping your bullshit. We ain't bowing down and worshiping your fucking idol, man. You see? And that's the integrity that we're going to have to show forth in these days, man. Hey, our hope and faith is going to be that Yahweh Shemini Shai is going to save us. But if not, we still ain't going to bow down and worship your fucking image, man. We ain't going out like that. Kiss my ass, all right? It says, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it wont to be heated. Yeah, he turned the heat up, hoping that it would put more. It would break that confidence that they had and shake their faith, that they would become faint-hearted, that they would have a change of heart, that their knees would shake, that they would reconsider the thing that they just said and bow down and worship, man. But they said, hey, fuck it. Turn that motherfucker up even higher. We don't give a goddamn. We ain't bowing down and worshiping your image, man. And this is a beautiful example of faith, you know, that we're going to have to tap into when we're in this situation. It says, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosens, and their hats, and their other garments, and was cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. You see? So they tossed them in there, man. But when you read the story of the three holy children, it tells you that the whole time that they were in that situation, they were praising and praying to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. You see? Hey, and that's the spirit that we're going to have to be in. Praying to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, even in our most darkest and hour where it seems like all hope is lost. Hey, and we're through. We're complete goners, man. But let's see what happens. It says, therefore, because the king's command was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, did not we cast three men bound into the midst of fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. And he answered and said, lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God, man. So you see what their faith wrought there, man? And I read that in Hebrews 11. Let me get that again. What was that? Was that Hebrews 11? Yeah, Hebrews 11 and 32. It says, Hebrews 11:32, and what more shall I say? It says, verse 33, and who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouth of lions, quenched the violence of fire. You see? This is what they did through their faith and their unwavering commitment and belief in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. The fire had no hurt, man. The Lord performed a miracle for these three men, that the fire didn't even touch them or hurt them. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High Yahweh, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their heads singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them, man. And that was a beautiful testimony and beautiful, deliverance for these men and their faithfulness, man. And if you don't believe that the same can happen for us in these days and in these times that we're in now, then guess what? Like I read, you're not going to be defended, man. Hey, the scriptures I read earlier, the Lord saveth from the time of trouble. And if this ain't a great example of these men being saved in the time of trouble, then I don't know what to tell you, man. You see, but hey, this is the thing. Do you believe that this is possible? Do you believe that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai can do the same for us in these times, man? You see? It says, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him. Remember, this is why Daniel 12 is written, man. Hey, when we're getting ready to face our darkest hours, hey, the Lord's going to send Daniel. He's going to send Michael, on our behalf, man, to save us out of this time that is never going to be since there has ever been, man. So it's all throughout the scriptures for us to have comforts in the things that are written aforetime, man. For us to have faith, for us to dial into. You see? You know, for us to lock in and to apply when we're in our situations, man. But it's going to take a hell of a lot of faith, man. It's going to take you, standing 10 toes firm in it. It says, has sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any God except Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. See that? Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill. because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. You see? And look how the Lord humbled Nebuchadnezzar. Because he said earlier, ain't no God gonna be able to save you from this situation I'm getting ready to put you in or deliver you out of my hand. And the Lord made him eat those words, man. To show you that at least he had the integrity to acknowledge that he was wrong, and that the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is the true God, man. But you think Esau's going to come to that recollection? You think Esau's going to share that same sentiment? He's not, man, and we don't want him to, all right? Because we want him to be literally got by Yahweh Shai when he make his second return live and in living color, man. Damn devils, man. And it says, then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. So you see what their great faith had wrought them, man. You know, they had that faith even in the midst of that fire, man. Even in the midst of imminent death, man. They didn't turn coat. They didn't get weak. They didn't doubt, man. They kept their faith was preserved. They stood boldly, man. And that's the same spirit that we're gonna have to be in, and we're gonna have to dial in, because hey, our hour of temptation is coming as well, man. But what does the Lord say? Let me read it again. Yep. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. And that's what Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did. All right, they kept the Lord's word. They told him, look, nigga, look, the Most High is going to deliver us. We ain't bowing down to your gods. So they stood firm in that training that they received from their childhood up, like I read earlier in Proverbs 22. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and he will never depart from him, even in his old age, man. So even these three men exhibited that training and their faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai in their most direst of hours, man. It says, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. And look how he kept those three men from that hour of temptation, which was literally physically in the fire, man. And he kept them from that, man. Not even their hair was singed, their garments was touched, and he did it in front of the sight of all of the high-ranking officials and the king of Babylon, man. All right, hey, and that's why we're still speaking about it until this day, because that great work and that faithfulness followed them even until this very day. So how much more for us when we're faced with that hour of temptation and we overcome it, whether we be delivered from it with spiritual power, or the Lord send an angel to deliver us out of particular situations, or we have to die as a martyr for Yahweh Shai. That work and that name is going to follow us forever, man. It's never going to depart. It's going to be linked with our spirit and our soul and our names for all eternity in the kingdom of heaven, man. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. See? It says, in him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of my city, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name, which is what? Ultimately, the 144,000, man. You know? The governing body, the elect, man. See? I'm going to read a little bit down the door. One more. It says, at 21, him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches, man. See? So this is what we're, we're trying to be, part of that, part of that glory. Part of us having a seat at Yahweh Shai's table in the kingdom for all eternity, man. In a great name that's never going to fade, that's going to echo in the halls of eternity forever and ever, man. But it's going to take place, it's going to start with here with our hour of temptation, man. And we got great examples in the generations of old that exhibited how we should move and what we should do when we're put in our hour of temptation, man. And it's coming very quickly. So like I was saying at the beginning of this, to hell with these non-believers, these scoffers, these black-ass Christians on TikTok talking shit, these podcasters, these unbelievers, these charlatans, these niggas of the world, man. Because at the end of the day, hey, when these things come, these niggas ain't gonna be defended, man. All right, they don't have their, they ain't got no foundation built up fully in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. A lot of them are telling us that this book is a fairy tale. We ain't the Israelites. And all this other bullshit, man. Don't let none of that shit deter you or to shake your faith up, man. Hey, because at the end of the day, those of us who are rooted and grounded and really in this thing, hey, man, hey, the Lord is preparing us for these times that are coming ahead. And 2/3 of these jakes that don't believe, that's out here caught up in whatever, that ain't putting their time and energy and investing it into this truth and in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, hey, when their hour of temptation comes, them niggas are going to fail miserably, man. And they're going to try to save their lives, and prolong it for a little bit longer and take that MOTB, that mark of the beast, that micro C hip, only to be eviscerated before Yahweh Shai and the holy angels in this nuclear holocaust that's coming here to Babylon the Great, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Lord willing, you were edified. Lord willing, I'll be out here next week. Shalom.